Hey everybody, it's Christy Nazaro from Soul Positive, and today I'm going to show you how to make a small little tag journal using my brand new stamp set through rubberstamps.com. This is a brand new set. This is what it comes, the packaging and what it looks like, and then this is what it looks like after you use it a whole bunch of times, which I have. So let me just show you a couple of the things that you're going to need. We're going to be using an 8.5 by 4 inch manila tag. This was one that I had in my stash. I actually use them sometimes because I work so small, usually in small journals. I use them in between the pages so they get some paint on them. This actually has some underpaper glued onto it and then some extra paint and some marks and stuff. So you're gonna need one of these. Obviously you're gonna need the stamp set. And then I had gone ahead already and cut some pieces of paper from just some extra books. These were actually my son's college textbooks that he had purchased. And there's some under-paper, just some Kraft paper, some watercolor paper. So these are approximately, I believe they're 7.5 by 3 or 3.5. So you're gonna need a couple of pages of those. We're just going to do a simple pamphlet stitch when we do end up putting the signatures in. And I'll get to that a little bit later in the tutorial. So let me show you what I did. I went ahead and I stamped the large circle from the set onto some linen scrap fabric that I had. I actually did it on some ledger paper and I stamped on watercolor paper as well. But for this tutorial, I'm actually going to use the fabric. I did grab a couple of extra fabric pieces from my stash that I thought maybe I would tear up and stitch around once it's on my cover. I love the Be Soulful stamp in the set. I added a small little heart there because I'd like to put a message on the inside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ink these up. And I'm just going to stamp right in the center. A little bit of even pressure, and then go ahead and peel it off. That's perfect. So now that I have that finished, I'm going to use this side. We're just gonna fold this tag in half. So it looks like this. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this on here. I'd like to also share with you, when I go to stitch this onto the cover, I will also stitch around the edges of the tag. This just it makes it a little bit more sturdy, and then it also keeps the inside in case you wanna maybe make a pocket or do something on the inside. It'll keep it nice and tight. This won't peel up. See how this peels up from the glue? If you have a nice stitch around it, it holds it a little bit more together and the cover is a bit sturdier. So I'll leave all of these strings hanging off. And I think what I'll do is take some of this fabric that I have, just snip the edges, and just kind of rip a few pieces. I'm not really sure how I'm going to stitch it together, in what pattern, but I love these colors. I think it's a nice color combination. So now that I have a few pieces torn, I'm going to take the largest piece of the fabric and I'll just tack it down onto the cover with a little bit of glue. Not much, just enough to kind of hold it down when I stitch. Lay that right on top. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch around the circle a few times to hold this on. And then what I thought I would do is just place these little fabric pieces down below and run a stitch through those. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go run them through my machine and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what the cover looks like. You can see the inside. We have lots and lots and lots of threads. And that's the outside. I would even, most likely I'll pull some of these out so we have even more threads and it looks even more frayed around the edges. So now that we have this part of the journal done, the cover, I'm just gonna set this aside and I'm gonna grab a few of these signature pages and just do a couple of backgrounds on here so that you can see what that will look like when you put it. I like to decorate the pages before they get bound into my journal, and then this way you have pages that already have a start, that you already have a background on, and that you can, if you're short on time, you can basically just add your artwork into the pages quickly. So let's start with this piece right here. It's a little piece of graph paper. So you figured it will be folded over like this in the signature. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my word stamp and I'm going to use the words as the background on this page. So how about we use the word heart? Just put that on my block. And I'm gonna go ahead, ink the word up, and just stamp the word on the entire page. So then when you decide what you're going to do on this page, you can cover some of it up with gesso or white paint or black gesso. You can cover some of that up, but you'll still have the words peeking out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish stamping this and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. One of the pages. You can use that as your one of your backgrounds. And now this is just a piece of underpaper that has, it's a cardstock piece. It has just a little bit of color on it. And I think with that, I'm gonna go ahead and use the open squares. And I'll just stamp the bottom of that, of this page, because that'll be good when I do end up going to use it. I can fill it in with paint or markers or colored pencils or anything like that. So there's that page. Now I think I had shared with you in another video that I am really into masking tape lately, and I thought we could stamp some words on here and just stick them on random pages in the journal. But I'm gonna use the plastic from the stamps to put the tape on. And I actually found some really cool, it was I believe it's a 1/2 inch, it's rainbow tape. I got it from Amazon, and it's actually really great. This is just a white color, but I've been using it in my journals and it really works great. So I'll put a link to the supplies that I used in this video in the description. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp a couple of words on here and then add those to some signatures in the journal as well, signature pages. So these are just 2 small little words that I stamped onto some masking tape. Just put one of those here onto one of the pages. Oh, this is good because you already have color onto the page, and you can just go ahead and add some marks in there. You could do a tip in on this one. Now I want to take the pages and put them in the order that I'd like them to be in the journal. So I'm going to fold all of the pages in half and put them how I think they would look best in the signature. I usually like to make sure that the last page, the very top page, is a bigger piece of paper, or like a heavier weight piece of paper, just so when you put it into the cover, it's a little sturdier as a signature. Now that I have my signature, I think it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I usually like to do 10 pages. So I'll grab one more. The signature will be 10 pages. Go ahead and stick that in. So then what I would do here would go ahead and just do a pamphlet stitch. You can find tutorials on pamphlet stitches everywhere on YouTube. Everybody has one. And I'll go ahead and put it in here. And then I'm gonna come back to you and I'm gonna show you once it's all put together. Now, sometimes before I do add signatures in, I like to put little scraps of fabric as tabs, like usually on the top of some of the pages. So I'll probably go and do that, and then I'm gonna meet you back here and I'm gonna show you it all put together and ready to go. Oh, one last thing. I just wanted to show you how I go about making the cover a little more bright by adding marks and paint, and how I really try to jazz it up, and I do all of that before I sew it all together. So here is the little tag journal complete. I did add some little ties to the signature once I bound it. I used a super simple pamphlet stitch, as you can see. I added a little wraparound. This is just some Sari ribbon. Put a little pocket in the back to hold some of my little pieces. Some fabric tabs up top. There's the page that we added on the masking tape. And there you have just a small little journal. I added some marks in the back here, added my Soul Positive stamp. Super easy journal using my brand new Soulful Hearts stamp set. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Have a great rest of your day.